concern of a roommate. She's both, so it works. Of course I do. I can barely afford to eat, let alone help Myra pay the rent. Sure, our little Crown Heights studio is Brooklyn cheap, but it's still Brooklyn. Look at me, babe. Myra tilts my chin, catches my eyes. It's okay if you're not ready. Give yourself time. The jaundice glow of the bar cuts across her skin, splitting her into shadow and light. The silhouetted hook of her nose, the curvature of her ear. My brain morphs her face into a mirage of Ryan. I try to edge past her, but she won't budge. I can't. I start, but I don't know what comes next. Myra pulls me into her, kisses my forehead. We'll talk about it later. If you insist on staying, then get that guy another old-fashioned. She nods toward an old man sitting alone in my favorite corner of the bar. The dead zone, where you can drink in the shadows, hiding from the incessant hum of electric light. I serve the old-fashioned, but don't say anything. Nobody chooses to sit in the dead zone if they want to make small talk. By the time I come back to the other side of the counter, two emo-looking dudes are whisper-yelling about something. I swear to God, that has to be him. One of them says. His lip piercing is infected, cherry red, encrusted. My stomach lurches. $20 says it isn't, says the guy next to him. I try to ignore them, but I have to grab a jar of Luxardo cherries from under the counter, so I come into their orbit. Hey, help us settle something, says Mr. Infection. It isn't a question, but a demand. That guy over there, he says, stealing a glance at the man in the corner sipping his old-fashioned. Is that who I think it is? I want to tell them both that I'm not in the mood to referee their little boy battle, but I need tips, so. It would help if you tell me who you think he is, I say. He looks back one last time, then leans in close. Johnathan Aster, he says, just above a whisper. I have no idea who Johnathan Aster is. Well, that's not entirely true. His name floats in the ether of my consciousness the same way it does in most New Yorkers. The idea of him, his fame, his mythos, these things I know. But I couldn't pick him out of a lineup, and I certainly don't know why he would be ordering drinks in our seedy little hipster bar. Johnathan Aster probably has Soho penthouse money. I'm sure he could find a nice top-shelf bourbon in Manhattan without needing to cross the bridge. Okay, so I'm totally sorry about this, I say, serving the old man another drink. I gesture to the guys at the counter. But those two goth wannabes over there think you're Johnathan Aster, and they're not going to leave me alone until I find out. He eyes the two dudes on the other side of the bar, stirs his drink. I wait for him to answer. He doesn't. So, are you Johnathan Aster? The man studies my face, tilts his head. He leans forward out of the shadows, giving me the best look at him I've had all night. His iron gray hair curls at his ears, frames his angular face. His emerald eyes pop against his black suit, his silver tie. He looks to be pushing 70, maybe even older. But he's controlled, assured. He stands slowly, moves to the other side of the table, pulls out a chair. Care to sit with me? He says. He moves back to the other side, slides into his seat, takes a drink. Saliva rushes against my tongue the way it does just before I puke. The scorch of vomit threatens my throat, but I'm able to choke it back down. Whether he's Johnathan Aster is no matter. I know the type of man he is. I slide the chair back under the table, the legs hitting the metal pole underneath with a clank. And then what? I say. Pardon? I sit with you, and then what? You buy me a drink? If you'd like. So I just walk off my job and have a drink with you. And then, what's next? You tell me about your job, your money, your power. Maybe